Hey everyone, it's September 20th. Just going to dive into some price action on the SPY and QQQ and talk about the potential scenarios for today. So, yesterday we had that gap up, continuation in the trend. We could see in the pre market the gap up on the opening drive, got some profit taking, reclaimed this VWAP, pushed into a new all time high, and we started to get some profit taking into that new high. And we're trading beneath this low, Wednesday's low in the pre market, aftermarket that was acting as support here. So we gapped underneath that, and we're holding Wednesday's low VWAP and this 567 level. So some potential scenarios I'd be looking to see is if we could get a continuation back into this 2-day VWAP area that coincides with this VP, get some profit taking into the daily VWAP, and then get some fuel to push us back up to a new all-time high. So we get some type of like a anticipation with the daily VWAP to look something like that, and some anticipation that this 2-day VWAP acts as resistance and then starts to act as support. And where we would see that was basically this 571 to 570 that's kind of acting as resistance right now as we traded into it and failed. We want to start to then see us trade above that. So we could looking for some anticipation for this alignment in this 570 under 569 for that push into 572 and maybe some upside continuation into further all-time highs. However, maybe we go into this area and we reject, and this area, this 2-day VWAP, starts to act as resistance. So instead of getting this area here, we start to actually reject further down. And the potential price action for that would be looking for something like this is we reject, we come back, break under the daily VWAP, anticipate the break of 468 to 466, 465, the week to date VWAP, and maybe even get further profit taking down into this 561 level that we see here is a key level. This 461 with this VP cluster right here, and the daily time frame as well, 461. So that's the potential scenario that we could look to see if we could trade it to this 461, and then maybe we get a lot of people excited. Oh, it's going to break 461. They get extremely short, and it actually rallies up on them, and now it starts to break in, and then we break that 461 finally, and we see some further profit taking down into this 554, which is that month to date VWAP, and we could see coinciding this 552, 554 with this VP region and this prior area of resistance right here that we couldn't get above could now maybe act as support. So that's the potential scenario I'm looking for. If we fail, start to trade underneath VWAP, start to anticipate further decline for the break of 466 into 461. We're already in it. Everyone's getting excited that it's 560. It's going to break 560, right? Maybe we could get a little, take some off, and then look to re-enter. And from that scenario, we'll have evidence of a 5-day moving average, a higher time frame trend, and we could actually get some alignment there. So we'd be looking for this 5-day moving average to flatten out, decline. So a rally to a new low, to a flat to declining 5-day. Maybe that could see us some further profit taking down into these levels that we talked about, 554 into 547 on the break of 561. So that's the SPY scenario, what we need to be cautious of. And let's dive into that QQQ. QQQ gapped up yesterday. You could see held the daily VWAP, got some profit taking in the opening, reclaimed it around 10 a.m. and pushed in and got some strength. Now, got some profit taking. and we could see very similar setup to the SPY. So we'll look for something like this. That do we get continuation rally, break above, start to get a little profit taking, then start to get going, and then be looking for that daily VWAP, anticipating the daily VWAP to kind of come up. There's our VWAP, 2-day VWAP, right up in here, and then we could get the 2-day multi-day VWAP alignment right up. So we get some strength, a little pullback, and maybe we get some continuations of 485 and break into a new high. So we're looking at 484, stop 483 to 481 to push into 486, and maybe we got this gap fill above this 492. Same scenario, that maybe we rally into this area. Instead of getting this, we start to pull back, break the daily VWAP, and we get from a failed move, a fast move, lower. And we'd be looking at this week-to-date VWAP, this 477, this prior band of resistance, maybe potentially could act as support. So we got this 477 to 475, 31, and then 473 here that we'd be looking for. So perhaps this comes in, test that 5-day moving average, undercuts it a little bit deeper, then we could set up for a bigger rally down in this area. Or perhaps that 5-day moving average then starts to flatten out as we rally to this new low, and we start to get trapped underneath it, and we start to see further profit taking down into this 465, 461 area. So we could see that this prior area of resistance could then act as support. And looking over here on the daily time frame, this VWAP at 461, 463 is the significant low of August 5th when we had that aggressive sell-off, and that's that VWAP low. So we'd be looking for this area, 461, to be acting as support, and that could fuel us into the end of the year. So hopefully this was helpful.